everybody. It is Wednesday, March 30th, 2016. This is Radio Tokyo. I'm Jonathan, and my head itches like crazy. And I want to tell you all a little story before actually, I'll tell the story to explain it. But first, I want to say, hi, Nick. How are you? I guess since you have to be here for some unknown reason.
Um, I'm pretty sure it's because you keep inviting me. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just magically appearing. Maybe I am a curse placed upon you.
I think you are a
Uh,
curse, but since no one actually gives a shit what you have to say, Nick, um, which is amusing since I actually give a shit what you have to say, Nick, but I do want to explain the itchy head thing first, and it's not that I don't feel like interrupting you. I just want to because it amuses me because I know you were mid sentence.
I mean, I'm just so used to it now. I just kind of
Shut the fuck up.
uh ignore it pretty much
Shut up. Anyway,
completely.
um, okay, the itchy head thing. I think I've mentioned it before. I have had long hair, like long, like down, like middle of my back for like 3 years now. That's how long I've been. It's maybe 3.5 years. How long I've been growing it out. And today I made the monumental decision to not only cut it off, but to donate it to Locks of Love. And the girl at the barber shop is actually someone I went to school with, and I promised her the last time I got a haircut, which was actually for like my grandmother's funeral. I think that was like 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. Anyway, I promised her that I would let her be the one to cut it. So I walked in today, and she kind of looked at me, and I didn't have it pulled back or anything. And I said, "I told you you could cut it." And she just started giggling, and she asked me what I wanted to do, and I said that it was either, cut my hair short or just, shave my head. And she goes, "Shave your head?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, why not? It'll grow back." So that's what she did, and she had a lot of fun doing it. Like she would, first off, after she cut off, she put it in two big ponytails, like on either side of my head. It was actually a cute look for me. It really was. But my hair wound up being 17 inches long.
I just picture you as being Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls now.
I actually kind of looked like her. It was very interesting. Either her or a very masculine Garona half orcan with facial hair. And
No. You are Bubbles. You are Bubbles now. You
I,
need to
I, I
dress up
guess
as
I could be
Bubbles.
levels, but yeah. It wound up making two 17-inch long ponytails. So uh, I'm happy because donating it means that someone who actually doesn't have their hair because of a disease and stuff like that can actually have a chance to have some hair for once. So I'm actually ecstatic for having done it. But
Yes,
yeah,
it is an excellent cause.
she made the ponytails and cut it off, and I kind of sat there and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, "Holy shit, I'm a new person!" She just busted out laughing. In fact, everyone that was in the barber shop was laughing. There was some guy who had walked in who was watching the whole thing. He's like, "How long did that take?" And I told him. He goes, "Whoa!" It was kind of surreal doing it, but she agreed to shave my head, so I have a Walter White esque appearance now. And I told
That,
her I just
that
need
was literally the first thing when I saw your picture with the shaved head. I was like, wow, it's Walter White. I was like, are you operating a meth lab? Because I want to tell you that I don't approve of that. Okay.
well, no, I'm not gonna have a meth lab, even though I have been joking about it all day. But I I actually do manage to pull off a Walter White look. It's scary. It really is.
It's not a bad look for you. It's pretty good.
Now, see, if I can convince myself to get rid of what's left of like my goatee that I have now, because I did have a full beard, and the beard's probably coming back. But the reason the beard went away is because it was actually the advice of the wife of the current uh, city commissioner who I am trying to replace in my campaign. it was actually her advice to get rid of it. Well, her and my mom, just between those two. And she's like, well, you know what? It'll grow back. But while you're campaigning, you might want to clean up a little bit. I said, okay, what the fuck? So I have had, long, like beautiful long hair this entire time, and now I'm gonna be walking now like a month and a half away from the election. I'm gonna be walking around with a bald fucking head, looking like Walter White. Like here, like here, vote for me. Here's some meth. I'm actually tempted to make some blue colored uh, rock candy and give out little baggies of it and say, here, vote for me.
It was, I could see that. I could see that.
See, like the fucked up thing is that might actually work. It might actually work. But no, but seriously, just like on a campaign note, I do want to acknowledge that yesterday I did not get the endorsement of our police and firemen's associations here in town, which is understandable. That's fine. Actually, it's not. It really actually pissed me off, to be honest with you. Um, Especially well, the reason what pissed me off was what they told me. The reason why it was like the only thing negative they could find about me, which this is a compliment, but it still kind of hurt my feelings. Anyway, uh, they said the only thing negative they could find about me is that I didn't seem to be involved in what was going on in the city for that long, and it's true. It is true. But I'm sorry to tell you. In fact, when I told the guy that came to see me about it, he kind of dropped his shoulders and looked down for a second. Uh, I've had a bunch of health problems for years, like lung problems and whatnot. We've discussed it on the show. I've had depression, anxiety, and shit like that. But my mother is also physically disabled, which I've never really mentioned before on the show. So she has to have someone to help her, and my dad is fairly old, so I'm here at their house, which is where I've been mostly to help them. So I haven't been going out and being involved in what's going on or working for like 5, 6 years now, and that's why I'm here to help. I'm here to help my parents. And when I told the guy that, he just kind of looked. It was this moment of, oh shit, I made the wrong choice here, which is kind of interesting. But that was really the only negative thing that they could find. Like they loved my responses to their questionnaire. They thought that I was a really good person, and that I really do want to do some good, which is true. I do. But they've endorsed my opponent, and the other Special People's Club, which I'd never really mentioned before, has endorsed him too. So that's all like the big businesses here in the city are ignoring him, and the police and fire departments are. So it kind of pisses me off. And for being someone who's so against money in politics, I'm actually angry. So basically, if I want to win right now, I have to go door to door, and I have to see and be seen, and I have to convince people that even though I do not have any goddamn endorsements at all from the Special People's Clubs here in town, that I'm the person who needs to be in on the commission. So essentially, right now, I am Bernie Sanders just with less hair.
But is the key to Bernie Sanders' success his hair? I wonder.
Oh, it's either that or his ability to commune with animals.
That I I'm still laughing so hard about the bird. I mean, it was hilarious. It was beautiful. And the internet went completely crazy for it. Maybe a little too crazy. I've seen some comments that are just a little too crazy even for me. But my favorite was that Bernie is a Disney princess.
I could see that. And see, I actually wish I had thought about that ahead of time and had like a graphic of it to put up, because it's actually a very marked distinction between him and how animals react to Bernie versus how animals react to Donald Trump. And I'm sure we all remember Trump being attacked by a bald eagle, in his office a while back. I mean, and just the look of I have fucked up now on Trump's face was amazing. It was like like that, just just this weird. It's like his face, which is normally creepy looking and everything. Just like all the wrinkles and shit went away, and all it was these beady eyes and this little tiny mouth for a change. I was like, it's interesting, but yeah, a bald eagle attacks Bernie, and then a bird, which apparently is one of the most symbolic birds in that portion of the country. I don't. It's like a lesser goldfinch, I think is what it was. And people are going crazy over there. It's like, oh look, the birds love him. They love him because like there's all these things I forgot about it. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Wait, wait. I liked his story or about how that was really done. I thought that was cute, and it was just a cool moment. But people have gone a little too crazy for it sometimes. They're like, it's a sign from God. It's nature's on Bernie's side, and
Well, see,
I
like
was like,
it actually could be a sign from God. But if we're going to
I
talk
mean,
about, but if we're going to talk about symbols that people go crazy for, um, which is really a good segue for this because I do want to talk about this moment. Because we didn't do this on Monday because your lazy ass hadn't been to see Batman versus Superman yet for
hey,
some
hey,
for
hey,
some strange reason. I don't know.
my family is sick, okay, and it's hard for me to get to the theater. So
So what you're
I
saying,
I, I
so
want
what
to
you're
see it.
saying
I
is
want to see it really, really badly. I really want to see it.
So what you're saying is that they would not let you and your cyborg body into the theater.
Hey, hey, hey. Unaccessible buildings are not a joke, people. They are not a joke. But even though I haven't gotten to see it, I've been, looking up all kinds of things about it, and I have an idea of how they could have completely fixed the movie, or at least 90% of the movie that people have problems with it, and
Well, see,
without even
it's interesting.
really
It's interesting you
changing
mentioned this. It's really interesting you mentioned that because over the weekend, like
without even really changing it.
on like Saturday, I think Saturday or Sunday, uh, Warner Brothers actually released uh, the scenes that were cut, and I mean the one or two of them that I've seen are not very long. But they actually help the plot. God damn it, they help the plot. Like you see
Yeah,
why it like okay.
it,
For example, now this is the only spoiler I'm going to give. In the end of the movie, Lex Luthor is talking about um, like something coming on. Like something's coming. And what you see in there is him talking to Steppenwolf, who is Darkseid's general. Okay, he's fucking talking to him in the Kryptonian ship, and then the police run in and arrest him. Oh look, that explains so much. It explains why Lex Luthor is getting his head shaved, why it is he's in jail, and it also tells you why it is he's talking like something's happening. You know? Oh look, and you know what else? That also helps to explain the whole nightmare dream sequence of Batman. Da
it,
da.
it's like the okay, from what I've read, from all those little things I've seen, it's like there is actually no. I'm not saying the movie's not good because I think it will be good. Like when I watch it, I think I'm going to enjoy it. But at the same time, it seems like it could have been even better than what it was. And it's just like an editing failure or just like all these little failures that they could have easily fixed. And it's kind of annoying when I see all these things that would have made the movie just like 10 times better than what it already is.
Really, I do think had though these cuts say like some of the ones I've seen, been left in, it would. I mean, no, Now, I say this as someone who was aware of what the fuck Lex was talking about. Like, I knew automatically when he started talking about, there's something coming, there's an impending danger and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah.
I, I, I
I mean,
picked up on that.
anyone who knows the story or comics pretty much knew he was talking about Darkseid and Darkseid's armies, or however you want to put it.
But like, it just surprised me that that scene was one filmed and then two. I mean, it's actually integral to the goddamn storyline. Like
Yeah,
him.
I don't understand what the editors were thinking, or the Zack Snyder was thinking, or whoever made that decision. Why would you cut something like that?
Probably to try and keep it under 3. I mean, the movie would have, like, the release version would have been over 3 hours had that scene
But
not been
but
cut. Like, the scene's not been removed.
that's that's
There's actually so much.
okay.
Well, no, see,
That's okay
the thing
for a
is,
movie
no
like
one
this.
wants to sit through a 3 hour long movie. I'm sorry, and I say that loving Watchmen, but Watchmen is pushing the 3 hour mark. There's no way I really want to sit in a movie theater for that long. I'm sorry, and
I
I say
mean,
that.
I understand, but the decision that they made, where they're going to basically tell, because we've discussed this before, it's like you're telling two, maybe even three movies at once. When you do something like that, you have to make a really long movie. I mean, I would not have been upset with a 3 hour movie. I'm sorry, I just would not have been.
Well, see, like right now,
I
it's
feel
like
like it's
2 hours.
necessary.
Right now, all they really did was drop off like 20, 25 minutes. I mean, right now it's just shy of 3 hours. I mean, it really would, honestly, it wouldn't have hurt it, but like the average person is not really going to want to sit there for that long. It's like,
Uh, uh,
oh,
uh,
look, there's
well,
more shit to get through here. I mean, but see, they
well,
could, but
hold on,
but
hold
they
on.
really could have left these scenes in to me, and it would have been fine. And it's apparently enough um, of a difference in the movie that right now it's PG-13, but when it's actually released on home media like DVD and stuff like that, it'll actually be rated R. So like these extra
I
20
wonder
minutes
if
or
like the
whatever it is.
DVDs will have. I wonder if the DVDs will have two versions, like one for PG-13 and one for R.
I don't. I mean, it really it doesn't matter to me. Like what it's rated when it comes. I mean, because I mean, it just, like I said, like we both said, leaving something like that in would have been fine. It really wouldn't hurt it because I mean, like for example, my oldest niece went to see it the day after I did. She is not a comic book fan. She does not like all these comic book movies. Like she didn't like Iron Man and Captain America and stuff like that. She didn't like anything like that. She'll occasionally watch it, but she's not a fan. And her husband is the exact opposite. He likes movies like this, but he does not want to go see this one because he thinks it's stupid. So she went to see it without him, and she loved it. She thought it was great. She thinks that Ben Affleck really is a good Batman. She really thinks he
And
is, and that's saying
okay,
something.
this that's actually what I think. Back to what I was saying about what could have fixed the movie. For what I think would be everyone. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like Jesse's role of Lex Luthor, but besides that, I think, and remember I said it needed a Batman movie before this, right?
Yeah,
But it didn't need an establishment Batman story or movie before this. What DC actually should have done is the Killing Joke. If they had done the Killing Joke, just the Batman the Killing Joke, it would have explained everything. Batman's motivations, Batman's trauma, his PTSD, uh, why he was so willing to fight, why he's so scary now. All the complaints that the critics have been having, and even some of the DC fans have been having, Batman's willingness to kill, like all of that could have easily, easily been fixed and explained if they had just made the Killing Joke movie.
Well, see, okay, like the thing to me is, um, I understand what you're saying. And I'm not disagreeing with you. But this particular version of Batman is actually based off of the Dark Knight Returns Batman. You know, where he's older and he's angrier, and in there he's actually much more violent of a character than what people are accustomed. Like, for example,
Oh, no, no, no. I get it. I get all that. But if I'm just like I get what they were trying to do with Batman. I completely see it. Even from the clips, even from just the reviews, the stories, like everything everyone's saying, I see what they wanted to do. The only problem is they actually needed another movie to set this up. That's why it feels so rushed. That's why it feels
well,
so
see, okay,
awkward
okay,
to a
okay,
lot
okay,
of
okay, okay.
people.
Hang on. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is something I haven't really mentioned before. Now, even though I probably should have. The movie is actually essentially a Batman movie. I mean, the biggest chunk
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
movie.
It is a Batman movie.
Hang on. The largest chunk of the movie is actually establishing this universe as Batman. Okay. Um, the movie opens with him, and it pretty much ends. Well, it doesn't exactly end with him. You know, we've already talked about how it ends. But the the majority of the action, like you get a few cutaways to Metropolis and stuff like that every now and then, but the majority of it is actually setting up this Batman. Like it's helping you to understand, you know, he's older. Like for example, the rapport he has with Alfred. You know, uh, it is no longer that of uh like a student and teacher. You know, it's no longer that stilted relationship like but Master Wayne, you can't do that. Okay, it's no longer that. It's just it's not what we're used to. This is people who have been working together and doing this for 20 years. I mean, like they're almost capable of completing one another's sentences. You know, I mean, like they're friends and partners now. Okay, and the movie
I
gives you enough
well,
time to see that and understand that.
well,
And
that's not my problem. See, that's not what I think the problem is. I just think cause what actually brought this idea on for me, or this font for me, was actually something that you said when you said you can tell that this Batman has seen some shit. And I get that. Like, I get it. I get that he has PTSD, he has trauma, he's been through some shit. Obviously, one of the Robins has died. All of his, like, everything he's worked to accomplish hasn't exactly worked out, and all of that. But here's here's where I think the problem is. You don't. I get that they were trying to show it, but it was more like they were just saying, uh, or 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 they were rushing it or trying to just say it or something. We need to actually, or at least I think that we, the audience, and I know a lot of people still love it, but I think it would have been so much better if they actually showed what happened to make him be like this, because
they
we've
do,
never seen that in a movie before.
they
We
do.
haven't.
Okay, here, okay. You get the few moments where, of course, you have to have the scene where you see his parent shot, so you understand he's been dealing with that. You know, like everyone knows that's what
Yeah, but
Batman.
I mean, we've seen like how many times now? How many times have we seen Batman's parents die?
But see, that's why it's like like I told you the last time we talked about this. It's actually the death of his parents that establishes the Justice League, and I don't want to give away the spoilers here because we've already done that. So I promise I'm not going to give anything else away. But uh, it actually is relevant to this universe's Batman. But what's even more relevant is the fantastically done sequence where Metropolis is being destroyed by Superman and Zod and everything else, and like there's
I,
just fire and death raining down. Like it's very
I,
much
I, I
it's
get
very
that
much
too.
like you mentioned before. It's very much of a reference to September 11th. Like it's very much that.
I,
And when you
I
see
get
Bruce
that
Wayne go
too,
through this,
but to me that isn't enough. It's not enough to push Bruce to do the things that he does in the movie. It just isn't. I'm sorry. Like we said before, I mean, it just comes off as they get into a pissing match for
it
seemingly
it
very
it,
little
it,
to
it
no
is.
reason.
But what I want to say is,
But
go
if you
see the
did the
fucking
wait
movie.
wait wait
Go
wait
see
wait
the
wait
goddamn movie. Just
wait
just
wait
go
wait
see
wait
it. Like
but
literally
wait, you
everything. Like
cannot deny. Wait, you cannot deny if they did the killing joke first, even before Man of Steel. If they did the killing joke, how much better would this movie have been?
they literally could have picked any Batman story and made it work for this
No,
one.
no, 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 no.
But
Specifically the killing joke.
hang on. There's a reason I say that. There's a reason I say that. Given the source material is easily one of my favorite Batman storylines of all time, it's more of a credit to Frank Miller for what he was able to do. Like that storyline is so perfect. You can shift whatever beginning Batman storyline you want to, and it works very well into that that story. It's very good and well done. I really don't know. Like I'm running out of words to describe it here. But anyway, for a movie that is still apparently not doing so well on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, it's actually broken. Like it's actually done better. It's done better than Deadpool did, and I'm not fucking kidding. It BVS has done better than Deadpool. Its domestic
Yeah,
earnings.
that's no surprise to me. Like I said before, it doesn't matter what the critics are going to give it. This movie is going to make a shit ton of money.
It is. It is. It's opening. It's domestic earnings. And now, when I say domestic earnings, I'm talking about the two show. There was at least two shows done in nearly every theater that Thursday. So this is opening. This is opening weekend. Opening weekend traditionally is Friday through Monday. This is Thursday through not even fucking like Sunday. Like this was Sunday morning. Okay, Sunday morning opening weekend for BVS. $166 million in the United States alone. Deadpool's opening weekend, that the Thursday night showing all the way through the end of Monday was something like 148 million, I think. So
I mean,
BVS automatically beats it. Like it gets better than that.
yeah,
It gets better than that.
yeah,
The worldwide earnings for it was 420 million. It
yeah.
is
I mean, that's no surprise. Deadpool is. I mean, Deadpool is shocking at how well it did since he's not that well known of a hero, honestly.
well,
He,
he is, but the thing is, the Deadpool movie
I,
is so damn good. I love it. But let me finish reading this. This is important, and then you can bitch about how much Deadpool sucks. Okay, BVS is
but I love
the
Deadpool.
best Easter opening for a movie, and it's also the best opening for a movie in the month of March. It is the second best opening for opening for a Warner Brothers movie, which is like the only one that beat it out by ticket sales and it's not it's like a few thousand ticket sales. It's actually Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part Two. That's the only Warner Brothers movie to perform better than this opening weekend, and it is also the largest opening for a DC comic movie in all of history, and that's including the 1989 Batman movie, which had which I actually learned this the other day. That movie was so anticipated that people were actually buying full price tickets to other movies just to see the fucking trailer for it. Just to see the trailer, they were buying movie tickets just to go. And Donald Justice has outperformed the '89 Batman. It has left uh, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, uh, damn
Yeah,
sure
I mean,
Batman and Rob. Like every other Batman movie in the past is now like it's now beneath this one, and that's including the Superman movies. I mean it's
I,
clearly
I,
a win for
I
DC.
never, I never had any doubt to the commercial success of Batman versus Superman. There's literally no doubt in my mind that it would break records, that it would sell a crazy amount of money. I mean, look at what Transformers did, which everyone knows is, well, maybe the first one is sort of okay, but the other ones are all terrible. But look at how well they do every single time. They People like, big explosions, well-known characters, things like that. There was never any doubt in my mind that this would break records or, just do amazingly well money-wise. Like that is. I'm honestly surprised it didn't push 200 million. Like that's how
It
well
was
I
actually
expected it to
expected to
do.
break 300 opening weekend. Now the figures, of course, have changed. What I have here was just up until Sunday morning. I haven't gone back to look, but I'm sure it was well over 200 by the time the weekend was over, and it's really doing very well. I mean, I I'm actually surprised with how much hatred it got at the beginning, but then again, um, this is not a Marvel movie. I'm sorry, Marvel fanboys. DC Comics does it better. Fuck you. Fuck your Marvel characters. I'm sorry. And the reason I say that is because the reason I say that is because no one picks apart a Marvel movie like they do a DC one because DC's better.
I don't know about that. I think you're just being a very big DC fanboy right now.
Well,
But
see, here's the thing. You and I will pick apart a Marvel movie like it's, a turkey at Thanksgiving. I don't have a problem doing that. But the average person goes to watch it's like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. And they go home. That's it. The average person goes to
no,
see a Batman movie. It's like, oh, shit. There's a message in this. Batman's awesome. Look at him. He's clinging to the wall. Ah! That's the difference. That's the difference. Like, this Batman is far more engaging than any other Marvel character other than Deadpool. At least currently.
I would disagree on. Well, I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet, but anyway. But I
We'll
think
see.
you're just
Okay,
being a huge
okay,
DC
okay,
fanboy right now.
okay. This. Okay, I'll make this argument. This Batman is much more engaging than, for example, watching Jennifer Lawrence around as Mystique.
Well, no one wants to see that. I don't want to see that. I want
I
Marvel to get the X-Men back. That's what I
and
want to happen.
now see here. Okay, here's the thing. I like
Oh,
Jennifer
wait.
Lawrence as
You
Mystique.
could,
I you know
when you say Marvel, I'm sorry, I throw out X-Men right now, and I throw out Fantastic Four. When
Well,
you say
Fantastic Four
Marvel,
definitely does not count, but you do have to count the X Men in this for
no,
some reason.
I'm
For
sorry,
some reason,
I
e-
don't count
even
the
though
X-Men.
it, even though like we've discussed before, Marvel
I
fucked up
mean,
with this, and I'm
Deadpool
sorry
was
they
an
did.
amazing movie, but that's because of Ryan Reynolds. This is full credit to Ryan Reynolds. He did amazing work with that movie, like just unbelievable work with Deadpool. Like I cannot compliment him enough. I give absolutely no credit to Fox Studios. None, none. They have ruined every single Marvel thing they have, honestly. And
Anyway,
they need they
anyway, we,
need to give it
anyway,
up
we're
to
moving
Marvel or
on.
to Disney.
We're moving on from Deadpool, Nick. Sorry, but I want to talk about Jennifer
Yeah,
Lawrence for a
because
moment.
Deadpool's awesome.
Now here's the thing. I think I've said this before. I am not really a big Jennifer Lawrence fan. I like her in some things, and she's okay in
I
X Men. But to me, she's
She's
become the
just
new
an
Wolverine.
average actress. Like at best she's average. I'm sorry. At best Jennifer Lawrence is very average. Extremely average. I think the best movie that I liked her in was what was it, the Silver Lining movie?
I don't fucking know.
Uh,
But no, but see, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Silver
Here's the thing.
Linings Playbook.
Hey,
Wait, so it was Silver Linings Playbook. That is
I don't know. It
literally the
didn't
best
matter. It doesn't
performance
matter. It
that I've
doesn't
seen
matter.
since Dawn.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. My thing is that like I said, I'm not really a big fan of hers, and all she's done for me in being in X-Men is basically becoming the new Wolverine. Like Mystique is now as annoying as Wolverine. I'm tired. Oh, excuse me. I am tired of Wolverine. I'm sorry, Hugh Jackman. I love you. I think you're a wonderful actor. I'm just tired of seeing your face, and I'm tired of seeing Jennifer Lawrence's face. And
I
and
don't
and
understand why they keep trying to flagship Mystique as the central character of X-Men. I do not
Because
understand this.
it's exactly the same reason that they did for Wolverine. Oh, she's
No,
popular.
no,
Look, she's in other things. Look, she'll carry the franchise. Ha ha ha. No, no,
but
just stop.
Wolverine at
Just
least
stop.
makes sense. Wolverine
No,
at
he
least
doesn't.
makes
No,
some
he doesn't.
sense.
No, I'm sorry. And see, here's the thing. Wolverine is one of my favorite X-Men. He's not my favorite. Beast would be my favorite, but Wolverine is not is the character I used to like. But here's the reality of Wolverine. When you're 5 years old, Wolverine is fucking awesome. When you're an adult, something like Professor X or Beast make more goddamn sense to you because look, they're not just look out, Bob, and they start clawing you. Wolverine is for 5-year-olds. Mystique is for fucking teenage boys who want to go home and jack off. I'm sorry, that's what she is. That's why she looks the way she does in this. It's an attractive woman. She's essentially naked with body paint on. Oh, boys, they're going to love it. And I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of it. I don't think Mystique is that important to the movie universe as she is in the comics. Now, yes, in the comics, she's very goddamn important, but she's not important in this. I don't give a shit about her. I'm tired of seeing her face. And this new movie coming out here in like a couple months was supposedly going to be her last one. And it's because, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly everything wrong with the millennial generation. Her reasoning for not being in this is, well, I'm tired of the body paint. Like, all of these chemicals are going on my skin. The first one I did, I was 20 years old, and now I'm 25, and I don't want to be blah, 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 blah. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. They are pissing millions of dollars in your face with it. It's like, look, here, take all the money. Here you go. Take all. Like it's like this movie is basically what helped the bitch get an Oscar. Come on now. And she's pissed off at it, like, I don't know, money. It's kind of like listening. It's kind of like listening to whatever her name is that was in Twilight. I don't remember her name. Kristen, whatever. Anyway, it matter. It didn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Oh,
It's
thank God, we can forget about her. It's been long enough that I forgot that she existed. Thank you,
well.
Lord.
See. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I actually like her in some of the movies. Yes, I've seen Twilight. I gave it and watched it. I like her in certain scenes. But see, here's the thing. She was just so um I the word I'm thinking of is lackadaisical here. She didn't give a shit about the role, and I don't think Jennifer Lawrence really gives a shit about this role. It's like, oh, it's a movie, haha. But look, I'm also Katniss. Yes. And, okay, that's fine. And so tell you what, Jennifer Lawrence, you quit being Mystique. Say, look, can you kill my character off? That way I can go be Katniss, and I'd be okay with that. But no, you won't do that. You're like, I gotta have all the money, but I'm gonna bitch about it because I'm 25 years old. I don't want chemicals. Jennifer, sweetheart, dearest, darling, everything is chemicals.
It's I, it, I'm just I don't know.
It's a stupid
I
argument. It's a stupid thing to say. It's like, I'm tired of the body paint. Okay, for starters, it's non toxic body paint. Um, the hardest thing about this would be having to someone actually have to lift up your boob and wipe out from underneath it every day. I think even I would get tired of that shit, you know. But you know what? If you're getting billions of fucking dollars for being in the movie, just this one movie alone, and it's a series, so it's steady work for you because uh like Katniss is over and done with. Like I don't what the Hunger Games storyline is over with. You know what other appeal do you have? Oh, here's regular work for just having on some body paint. Okay, I don't give a shit. Stop your bitching. I'm tired of hearing about you. I kind of wish you would lead the series. Now, what makes me sad, what actually gives me a reason to be sad up here, right here, and to not be angry, is Tom Hiddleston is apparently going to be leaving the MCU.
That makes me sad. I
Apparently, there will be no more Loki. Now, it's not that Loki's being killed off. It's just that, according to him, the people who are responsible for writing all this shit can't make up their minds. It's like, well, we want Loki in, we want Loki out, want him in, want him out, and it's been, I think, 5 years now since he was actually in a movie.
I I I love Loki. I mean, he would. Okay, Loki to me is part of what made the Avengers such a good movie, or a fun movie, or however you want to say it. I think it's a good movie. I enjoyed the Avengers, and Loki was a big part of the why. He was just such an awesome character and such an awesome role, and Tom did amazing, amazing work with him.
He did. He actually did, and like I completely understand him wanting to be let out of his contract because he's not going to be in. For starters, he was not in this second Avengers movie. He is not going to be in Thor Ragnarok, from what I understand, which is starting filming here soon. He doesn't seem to have any roles lined up, even in possibly Infinity War. But yet the man is still under contract, and he's angry about
Which is
this. And I
really
understand.
confusing.
I understand.
Like that's really confusing to me. Why would they not use Tom more? I mean, he wants to be in the movies. As far as I can tell, he genuinely enjoys playing Loki. Like, why not use him more? Like, I want more Loki in movies. I'm sorry, I do. I want more Loki.
Do you know who else wants more, Nick?
Who?
I almost said my mom, just to make one of those um, TV show
That would have
references.
been awkward.
But anyway, no. Apparently Apple wants more.
Marvel.
Do you remember the past couple of weeks how there's been this big to do about how Apple would not give the federal government the ability to break into an iPhone?
Yeah.
Over the weekend, the government basically told Apple to go fuck itself, and they got a third party to come in, and the third party made one attempt, and they broke into the phone.
It's really not that hard. I don't understand why they. I mean, no. I understand wanting to do it legally, and that's fine and all. But if you really want to break into an iPhone, it's not that hard.
See, the thing is, it really isn't. And now, I don't know what make and or model of iPhone. I think his name is Saeed Farouk. It's something 9/11 thing. I'll just put it that way. He's a terrorist.
And
He's a terrorist. I can say it's something 9/11 thing. Okay, shut up. I don't know what kind of phone he
well,
had, but there
well,
actually
well,
are devices you can purchase on eBay, on goddamn eBay. Uh, and you can say I'm crazy and I'm making shit up. There are YouTube videos out there of people who are actually using these devices. What you do is you hook it up to the phone, you press a button, and then it cycles through all the possible combination keys until it gets one that works. And it probably takes maybe a minute to do it. Now the phone is supposed to completely lock after 10 attempts, and no, I'm sorry, 5 attempts at locks for a minute, and then after like 10 attempts, supposedly there is a security feature that will completely shut the phone down, and you have to go, like, you have to mail it back to Apple to get them to factory restart it for you to get your shit back. Um, Now the government has apparently used all of their attempts to get in the phone, which is this is by Apple's admission, because the government told them, well, this is what we've done, and we need your help, and Apple's like, no, we're not going to be doing that for you because we don't want to establish the criteria or the possibility rather of someone else doing this exact same thing to break into a phone illegally, which I understand. I'm actually on Apple's side when it comes to this. I mean, that they do make a
Yeah.
good case. If they create a program that does it for one person, there's a precedent there that they'll have to do it for others. And I get that. I understand. Apple's taking a stand. Good for you, Apple. Um, like I said, over the weekend, the government got a third party to come in and do it, and it really didn't take them long. And now Apple's like, hey, hey, no, you need to tell us what you did so that we can fix it. And the FBI is just like, and just going about their business.
Well, I mean, why would the FBI tell them how to fix it when they wanted the ability to do this the entire time? It doesn't even make sense for the FBI to tell them. I'm sorry. It literally makes no sense for the FBI to tell them.
See, and that's why it's interesting. Like, I'm totally behind Apple not wanting to uh teach someone how to break into an iPhone. I am totally behind, like it's a proprietary secret.
Yeah.
I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, I also understand the FBI, not wanting to tell Apple what they did. I really get. I mean, as annoying as that has got to be for Apple, I understand the FBI saying, "Look, damn it, we needed the information on the phone." Now the problem is, and this is actually a real problem, for me, realistically. This is unprecedented access into the personal life of an individual. Now, granted, he's a terrorist. Yes, he did bad things when in San Bernardino. Okay, so don't think I'm taking a side here at all. I'm not. Uh, what his phone
Oh,
contains is phone numbers, addresses, emails, text messages, pictures, access to the personal lives of everyone he ever knew.
oh yeah. I mean,
Everyone.
this is something that I mean, there's always been the fight about protecting privacy and the digital world and how that affects things, and this is a great example of how easy it can be to get by a lot of or your life can just be exposed very easily. And also, I just want to take a moment for a second to say something because I want everyone to know that despite whatever Apple may tell you about how safe or protected you are with Apple products, if you talk to anyone with any kind of technological knowledge or experience about why that is, it's simply because there's a lot more Windows-based systems. That's literally the only reason that Apple isn't hacked as often or anything. So, guess what, people? The more iPhones and Apple products that get sold, the more this is going to become a serious problem. In fact, Windows PCs might actually be legitimately safer than Apple's products, which is a weird thing to say after all the rhetoric we've heard for however long it's been now.
Yep.
I mean, it's not hard to hack a Apple product because people just don't try. So when someone actually tries, of course they're gonna find giant glaring holes in the Apple-based security. It's really simple.
Pretty much. And I'm sorry, Apple, but that does seem to be a problem for Apple because oh, how can I put this simply? It's an Apple.
Yeah,
And I like Apple. Like I love my
I don't
iPhone.
like Apple.
I really do like my iPhone. Like it's one of the neatest tools that I've ever had. Yes, I call it a tool. It's a tool. Okay, it's one of the neatest
I
tools I've
like
ever had in my
I
life.
like my
Now
Droid. My Droid is
now
my Droid is neat.
hang on, hang on. I haven't used an Apple computer in a long time. I really haven't. But I like my iPhone. It's a neat phone. Now, is it capable of doing everything else? No, probably not, but you know what? It's an iPhone, and I'm glad that I have it. I'm not going to diss, Apple for that. But I'm not a fucking Apple fanboy who will stand in line for 3 days to get the new one, which does exactly the same that the one last year did, only with a smaller screen. I'm not going to do that shit. I'm sorry. Like the one that came out this year, uh, it will be replaced next year, and I'm not someone who's going to spend, like a couple $100 getting a new phone every year. The one I've got right now, I've had it for like 2 years, and I'm going to keep it until I get my free fucking upgrade every 5 years. Okay, because I'm gonna do that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm gonna do. Fuck you. But I like my iPhone, and the problem is that yes, I'm very well aware that if someone ever steals it from it, they can probably get into it. It's not going to be the hardest thing to do. And I say that because there actually is a cheat around the 4-digit code. I've never actually gotten it to work, so I'm certain I'm fucking up somewhere. But it depends on the make of the iPhone, how to do it, and I'm not going to describe it. But it is a way to get around the 4-digit code, and you don't have to be a tech expert to do it. You just have to know which You just have
There's
to
literally a million ways to do it. There's literally a million ways to get around security.
There
It's just
is, but you know what? Fuck it. It's an iPhone. Whatever. Everyone's got one. You're all being monitored, and with that, I want to go to the biggie this week. Like, and actually, pun intended here. Um, the big story this week. Actually, at the end of last week, and I don't I don't want this topic to be the butt of all of our jokes. Fuck it, fuck it. We're talking about Tracer's ass, okay? Apparently, over the weekend, a very angry mother of a young daughter wrote a letter to Blizzard over the BattleNet forums and had a complaint that Tracer, character that's not even out in the video game. It's not even out yet. It's going to be an Overwatch, which is probably the single most anticipated video game of the past 2 years. Um, Really, honestly, it is. It's people are going fucking insane for it, and it's coming out next month. No, I'm sorry, in May. I'm sorry, May, like the end of May. So you got like 2 months now. Anyway,
I
um,
cannot I cannot and I can't wait.
I can't wait. And I know people who are on the alpha right now. Fuck you if you're on there. But anyway, the concern over Tracer is that she is a sex symbol. Because she has a victory pose, which is on screen. Like we're doing a split screen of this right here, so you can see this. Okay, Tracer. You'll see. Okay, my thing with Tracer is she's like 21 years old. I think the character's supposed to be, and she's young. She's cute. She's flirty. She's agile. She's thin. Whatever because she like flits around and teleports and everything. She's quick. She's fast. But evidently her victory pose, which is her to turn with her back towards you, one gun up, one gun down, and look over her shoulder, makes her too sexualized because, oh my goodness, she has an ass.
I I mean I get the weird lying thing is a bit exaggerated and a little unrealistic, like the whole super skin tight clothing thing is always been a little bit odd to me. I'm kind of glad in general design wise they're moving away from that, but it's I don't know. This was not a big deal to me.
It's a silly argument.
And
I'm sorry. It's now okay. Here's the thing. First
also,
off, first off,
one other thing, I've always found this victory pose stupid. Whenever I see a victory pose like that, it's just stupid to me. It just looks dumb to me. I'm sorry. It does. It looks dumb.
okay. Here's my thing. And first off, I want to now. I'm pretty sure this mother's never going to to hear this, but directly to the mom, I do want to say I understand your concern. Okay, I totally get that, and I'm going to sound kind of like Anita Sarkeesian here, but I totally understand that there are overly sexualized female characters. Okay, there really are. I'm sorry. There are a lot of characters that are designed specifically because they know that the male audience will enjoy the characters. It's kind of an inherent flaw in men that we like attractive women, unless you're gay, whatever. Um,
I
Nothing
wouldn't call
against
that
gay people,
inherent
okay?
flaw. I would call that nature.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, I have no problem with Tracer's victory pose. I'm sorry, I don't. I'm not. I'm not interested in playing this game because I have a sexual attraction to Tracer. Sure, she's cute. Sure, the character is flirty and interesting. But you know what? Tracer's actually not the character that I want to play. Sorry, she's not. She's not the one that I'm interested in playing. She's just not. There are like 2 dozen characters in Overwatch that I'm interested in playing more than Tracer because I just don't really like the playstyle of this little thing that runs around and shoots people. Okay, I'm just not interested in that. Do I
Yeah,
like her design? Sure, I do. I love Tracer's design. I think she's a beautifully designed character. I think she's very easily uh, able to be. In fact, she is one of the fan favorites just because Blizzard is damn good at designing a character. So I understand, a mom not wanting her daughter to look at a game and to look at her favorite character because the daughter, by the mom's admission, loves Tracer. Like she's a favorite because she's kid friendly. That's what she's for. Hint, hint. Okay. So the mom's concern is that the little girl will look at Tracer and get an unrealistic idea of what a woman is supposed to be. And I get that. I understand that. Now here's where this whole argument falls apart, and I'm not putting up screenshots for this yet because you can Google this on your own. The characters Diva and Widowmaker were specifically mentioned by the mom. Okay, the mom had no problem with Diva and Widowmaker being overly sexualized. Now Widowmaker is the one that wears the stiletto heels and has the tight purple bodysuit and then like the multiple eye visor thing. She's definitely a femme fatale. She's out to kick somebody's ass, and she's out to do it by wearing skin tight outfits and showing off her ass and her breasts and everything. Okay, uh,
I
Diva
I
Diva
don't
is
understand
Diva
that.
Diva is a well, she's Korean, but she's done up in a typical Japanese schoolgirl outfit. Pigtails, short skirt. Super flirty, big breast, big ass, uh, type like she's a little schoolgirl. She's definitely a Lolita fetish type character, and from what I gather, her character is not even 18. She's not even fucking legal. But it's okay for Diva to look this way. And it's okay for Widowmaker to look this way. But God forbid Tracer has a victory pose where her back is to the camera because it shows off her ass. I'm sorry, but that is the inherent issue that I have with this. Okay? Um, why is it okay for Diva and Widowmaker to look the way that they do, but Tracer can't look the way that she does? Exactly what message is that going to give to a child when you say, well, look, you like this character, I approve of this? that's okay. No, you're actually telling your child. You're fucking with your child here when you tell your kid that this is the standard that I want you to have. This is what you're allowed to like. Now, let's say the kid grows up and actually wants to, you know, for example, let's say the kid grows up and wants to dress like Diva does and act like she does. The mom is going to be upset, for a while, and then she'll finally accept it and be over it. Okay, but no, it's actually an unfair stereotype to me, to tell the child that this one character in a video game is fine, but I don't want you to think she's sexual. Okay, it's a stupid thing to me. It's kind of like saying, for example, Anita Sarkeesian's argument that Catwoman showing off her ass and swaying her hips is is a bad example to say it for little girls. No, it's not. It's fucking Catwoman. It's Catwoman. She moves like a cat. Okay, I'm sorry. She's all about that ass. Now, I'm not saying that's what Tracer is. Okay, I don't give a shit about Tracer, really. I mean, she's kid from the character, and I get that. And like I said, I totally understand the message the mom is not wanting to see. But I'm sorry, Blizzard, removing that victory pose is stupid to me. It's really stupid to me because a single person complained about this. Okay, and now it's not like the argument that was made about the way that Blizzard has designed their female characters in the past in the game. Having Tracer and having Diva and having Widowmaker, and I just forgot the other female character's name, but the one who is big, she's bulky. Basically, if we're talking about a stereotype, she would look like a. I'm not gonna say it. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be that offensive, but that's kind of what she looks like. And Blizzard designed this character with a different body style for a woman in place. At the same time, they introduced Diva, which is a fucking lolicon.
It's just a really weird argument for them to be offended by one character and not the others.
See,
And Blizzard has a lot of highly sexualized females, um, in their designs at least. World of Warcraft, you have Sylvanas, Jaina, you could argue is highly sexualized in some of her outfits. Oh god, what's the rogue's name? The variant, the Blood Elf rogue.
Valyria Sanguinar.
Yeah, Valera.
We'll see. Okay,
And
look. Here's the thing. Just talking about World of Warcraft by itself. Okay, Draenei have big ass and big tits. Okay, and if you look at them with their clothes on, holy shit, they're sexualized. Look at a Blood
oh
Elf.
yeah,
Holy shit, they're sexualized. Basically every female race in the game, even female orcs and gnomes and shit, are highly sexualized. But no one says anything about that. No one says a word about that. But they
and a lot
have
of
a
kids
character
play
just
World of
because she's
Warcraft.
very kid
A lot of
friendly.
kids play World of Warcraft.
But see, my thing is, Blizzard designs a character that's kid friendly, and she can't turn around and show her butt to you. Ooh, why? Why? Exactly at what point in time does it become okay for a child to see an example of what a person looks like, and turning around? And I'm sorry, the, the victory pose thing. I agree with you. It's kind of dumb, but it's done in first person shooters. It's been done for a long time. It really is. Like the boom, look at me, victory pose. Haha. Who gives a shit? Really? Who gives a good goddamn about this? It's a video game. Now, if you want your child to understand what's unrealistic and something you shouldn't appropriate, oh, okay. How about Widowmaker? I'm sorry, she has a giant sniper rifle and she walks around in skin tight costumes and stiletto heels, okay? Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just, why don't you look at your kid and say, look, okay, I'm fine with you liking Tracer. I'm fine with you wanting to be like her, but here, how about we don't do this? How about, like, seriously, pick a fucking thing that you want to teach your kid and make that a consistent argument. Now, like I said, I understand the mom's argument here, but it's a dumbass argument when you compare it to the fact that she says, I'm perfectly fine with the other female characters being in here. It's just this one. It's just this one character that I have a problem with. No, be consistent. You have a problem with the representation of women in by Blizzard Entertainment in a video game. Okay? Make that argument and stick to that shit and say, look, if one gets changed, the rest need to be changed.
Yeah, I mean, they're, if they're gonna change Tracer, they should change the other ones too. And Tracer is literally the least sexualized of all the women that I've seen, in my opinion.
She is. She is. And see, here's the funny thing. Um, I actually did check for Rule 34 on Tracer. I did. I'm sorry, just because I wanted to see the extent at which people uh, are going to sexualize this character. Okay, like when I found out, like, oh no, she's too sexual. Okay, exactly how sexual is he? Um, Oddly enough, Tracer has very little Rule 34 that I could find. Believe it or not,
Yeah,
I looked. I looked. I spent a couple hours looking. I couldn't find a whole bunch of shit about her. Now I found a couple of videos that someone had animated of her, and I found a couple drawings, but it's not that much. I found more of Diva and Widowmaker than anybody else.
yeah, it was just kind of a little weird thing to me.
Sorry, but I rule 34 her just to see. I even I really was surprised. I expected there to be more. Because like I said, I do like Tracer's design. She's cute. She's flirty. She has an interesting personality. She's very engaging, and I like that.
Are you disappointed? You sound like you were disappointed.
I, in a strange way, yeah, I was disappointed. Like I really wanted to see this. For once I actually wanted to find porn of a video game character, especially after someone makes a big deal. That's makes such an argument about it that the people who designed the character completely changed the video game just for this one person. I wanted to see this and I couldn't find it. I couldn't fucking find it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have failed you, internet. But no, it's a dumb thing to say to me that Tracer can do, can't be this way, but the other ones can, and that's really what I want to talk about, is or wanted to talk about because it's kind of dumb, and it really is when you think about it.
I would like to apologize to the audience for John. That's all I have to say.
Why apologize for me?
Because of your Google searches. That's why.
No, look, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You and I have what I would call obsessive pop culture disorder. Like we like goddamn, look at the conversations we've had about movies and video games and stuff. Okay, you and I knowing
I
this
wouldn't
stuff,
I wouldn't go that far.
it's kind of the premise of the show. Okay, so me, having actually looked, for something that might actually back up this mom's claim is not a bad thing. It's really not. It's kind of like okay, for example, saying that bronies are bad because they all like My Little Pony porn. Okay, it's not hard to find My Little Pony porn. It's really not. There are
This
actually
is a
Facebook pages.
conversation that's going to a
Do what?
very dark place. This conversation is not going anywhere good.
No, 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 no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Saying that a character is overly sexualized is understandable, but I'm sorry. I'm the kind of person who would like to actually find evidence to back it up. Like if there is a plethora of stuff about Tracer out there, that I can find easily. Sure, you have an argument because your kid could very easily find it, very easily find it. I couldn't find that easily. You can say, well, My Little Pony is a little sexualized. Sure, I can find that shit easily. What I was gonna say is there are actually Facebook pages that I have been shown it's there. You can find it. All you have to do is look. And I looked for stuff for Tracer. I had a difficult time finding it. I'm sorry. Like that's one of the key things here is if you can search for something like that about a character then yes, they're definitely over sexualized, and this is saying something ultimately about the culture we live in. Okay, Tracer is not overly sexualized by people on the internet. I'm sorry, she's not. You know, she's just not. And we live in a culture of people who will make a nude mod for Minecraft so they can stare at a blurry, pixelated pair of breasts. Okay, I mean, like, that's the world we live in. And to me, the fact that I can't seem to find very much for this one character means is that she's not being overly sexualized. And the argument that, oh no, she has an ass, she's showing it off. It's not really on thin ice. It's actually treading water. Okay, like it's treading water in the middle of a frozen lake. That's what you're fucking doing here, okay? There's not really an
The more
argument to
we
make
talk
about it.
about this, the worse it gets.
No, it's actually not getting worse. I'm being very honest right here, okay? The idea that this character is sexualized to the extreme and that it's going to be a bad example for a kid, you have to be able to back the argument up. You really do. I'm sorry. You have to back that shit up. Back that ass up.
How long were you waiting to say that?
Actually, delivered up. That was a spur of the moment thing for me. But no, really, my point, my actual point here is, uh, Transfer's fine. There's no need to change her. She's fine. She's kid friendly. Everyone likes her except me because I don't like the character play style. That's fine. That's my preference. She's fine. There's no bad example to be taken out of that. And it and really, like I said, no one else seems to have said anything else about Widowmaker and Diva. No one said anything about them. No one said anything about Reinhardt and how it is he's this, you know, like super muscly guy or whatever. No one says anything about the other characters. Okay? Yes, it's unfair. Yes, you can make the argument, but at some point in time, you have to take off your Anita Sarkeesian mask and look at things realistically. And this is not realistically. Blizzard is a very large, very popular gaming company. They make some of the most popular video games of all time. And even though they are very understanding of their fan base, even though they are very considerate of their fan base, even though they are very responsive to their fans, I think making this request to them was a little bit too much. That's my personal stance. Nick, you don't have to agree with me, and no one in the audience ever has to agree with me. But that's my personal stance. This is taking a argument that you can make, and like I said, there's a decent enough reason to make the argument, and I understand the argument, but it's just a request of Blizzard that I think is unfair, and I think it's something that should be resolved between this mother and her daughter, rather than having to make everyone else deal with their change. Like their reasoning, and I'm sorry. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, it was just kind of silly to me. It was literally a lot about nothing to me.
It is. It actually was. I mean, I'm sorry. I really don't know what else to say at this point in time other than the fact that this was a stupid request. It really was. It was almost as stupid a request as Quentin Tarantino asking to make the Hateful Eight.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah. I finally got around to watching it last night, and I am a Tarantino fan. Uh, I didn't like the Hateful Eight. I didn't like a damn thing about it. It has its moments where it's interesting, but yeah, least favorite Tarantino movie of all time. I thought the dialogue was stupid, it was predictable, and it was boring. And whoever the fuck greenlit the Hateful Eight needs to be dragged out behind the woodshed and have their ass beat.
It was that bad?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Samuel L. Jackson is in this. Channing Tatum shows up in it. Like everyone in the movie is a fantastic actor in their own right. But in this movie, they're just not any good. They're just not any fucking good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're not. They're really not. Um. But compare this, for example, to Pulp Fiction. Which is either really liked or really hated. Now there's a lot of middle ground there for Pulp Fiction. But you go from having lines like Samuel L. Jackson saying, um, uh, "What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?" Stuff like that. To Tarantino's appearance in the movie, where he says, "Is there a sign in my front yard that says dead nigger storage?" Okay, you have that extreme, and it's stuff like that that kind of get people very polarized about the movie. This movie, I actually lost track of the number of times the word nigger is used. I lost track. I really did. I really did. Uh, of course, Samuel L. Jackson is the main central black character in this movie, and it's all directed at him, and it's strange. It's weird to me. It's not like Django Unchained, which I had some pretty decent arguments made against me for that movie being racist because basically Tarantino just makes a movie just to be able to use racist stereotypes. Like if you listen to him talk to a white person, he talks like I'm talking to you. But if he talks to a black audience, yo man, well he tries to talk street, and then he makes movies that every other word is nigger, every other word and that is fuck, and that's his movies, okay? But if you look at Django Unchained, sure, there's a lot of racial tension in the movie. So much to the point that uh, I just forgot his name. Um, Leonardo DiCaprio, who's in the movie, actually apologized to Jamie Foxx before he even said his first lines to him because he felt so bad at the dialogue that had been written by Tarantino. So imagine that performance, which was beautiful on DiCaprio's part and beautiful on Jamie. Like Django Unchained is actually really good. It really is. And then kind of take the take the take the need to feel you have to apologize before you use lines in a performance to another actor and make a like 2 hour long movie out of it, and that's Hateful Eight.
That's kind of sad. That's pretty
Yeah,
sad.
yeah. Now I'm gonna go back and watch this movie a second time, maybe a third. I'm not sure, because I really do want to find something good about it. But I did want to mention it because, like I said, I'm a Tarantino fan. I love Quentin Tarantino. He makes some great movies. Inglorious Bastards is probably my favorite movie of his ever, and that's saying something because Pulp Fiction is fucking amazing. Okay, I love Pulp Fiction, but I quite possibly like Inglorious Bastards even more. Um, so I'm gonna go back and watch Hateful Eight, and I don't know. It just left me with a weird feeling, like it's basically watching the movie is kind of like how my head feels after being shaved. Like it's weird. It's this weird tingly, burn, itchy sensation, and it's uncomfortable.
Mm,
It was
I,
like uncomfortable for me to watch it as a white man.
I
I'm like,
see. See, I
um,
kind of wanted to watch it, but now I kind of don't.
well, no, see, watch it if you get the chance. But I mean, oh, dude, really, just don't go out of your way to watch it. Anyway, it's about time to end the show. So we're ending it on what's gotta be the most depressing thing we've ever talked about is dead nigger storage.
It, mm, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. Uh, think of something else to end it on.
What else is there to say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's really all.
Go,
I mean,
go,
I
go, go,
actually,
go, go see Batman versus Superman.
I actually want to watch it again and do tally marks for the number of times words like certain words are used. I really do because it's a lot. It's a lot. There is more
I,
usage
I'm pretty
of
sure someone has done that, probably, somewhere.
it probably has, but I mean, really, there's more usage of the word fuck and shit and stuff like that in this movie than I think Tarantino's ever done. Really, I do think that. I mean, it's kind of bad. It's kind of like I said. Um, actually, okay, this is just one spoiler. Nick, you can hate me forever for this, but this is the one thing I want to talk about, just to give you an idea of how bad it is. Okay, there's a scene in there, between Samuel L. Jackson's character and this person who's supposed to be a very old former Confederate general. Okay, and Samuel L. Jackson's character asked this former Confederate general, if he had a son. And he's like, "Well, what happened to your son?" And the general was like, "Well, he came to Wyoming because they're in Wyoming right now." And at that moment, like when I heard, this little exchange here, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, because they had set up this general as being a very violent person towards black people, like captured an entire federal unit of black soldiers during the war and slaughtered them all because we ain't got no time to take care of no niggers. And that's like the line he uses. Like he starts screaming this shit. It was weird, okay? So when Samuel L. Jackson asked him about his son, I was like, oh, okay, okay, fuck it. He killed the son. And then it goes on and 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 on for like another 20 minutes, dragging this shit out, okay? And finally it gets to the point where you understand exactly what's going to happen, and it's going to, like, the ultimate denouement here is that it ends in the phrase suck my dick. You know, it was an extended dick joke about black people having, like black men having large penises. That's what it was. That's what it was. And Samuel L. Jackson, to his credit, had to deliver that line. It's stupid. It's stupid, and I hated it. I really did. It was like, okay, get it over with. Are we still talking about ramming your fat Johnson down this person's throat? Are we at the end of this? It was boring as fuck. So I'm getting. It was stupid.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
I mean, seriously, seriously, dude. The phrase "dead nigger storage" is a more intriguing line to me than this entire sequence of Samuel L. Jackson describing the idea of murdering a racist son after making the son blow him. One of those things I can forgive Tarantino
Yeah,
for, the
yeah,
other one I can't.
I, yeah, it's just really uncomfortable overall.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It actually was uncomfortable to watch it. I mean, fuck, whatever, Tarantino, just make your damn movies, please. Whatever, whatever. I mean, it's weird. It's weird to have watched it, and like I said, I'll have to go back and watch it again. But anyway, we're pretty much at the end of the show, so there's your depressing note that you like to end on, Nick.
Uh, let's see. Um, um, I can't think of anything. I'm that was just yeah. I'm just very awkward feeling
Yep,
now from all
awkward
of that.
and sad and
Yeah, sure. That
pitiful.
should be the title of the show. Awkward and sad.
Well, see, you said a couple weeks ago that you liked ending the show that way, so there you go. There you go. Don't ask for things that you're not expecting. Kind of like asking your parents for a pony, because they might actually get you one.
Would that be a bad thing though to get a pony? I don't know.
Unless, you have a parent who's a smart ass like I would be, and say, here's you and my little pony. I got you a pony.
Oh god.
I can see it now.
Goodbye,
Like,
everyone.
I can see it now. Dad, can I have $1? I got you $1. That'd be a monopoly money because I would be the person. But yeah, we're gonna end here, on this depressing story that Robot Nick wanted to talk about. The Hateful Eight and how much of a racist robots are. So please remember to like this video, comment on it, share it, subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, and we'll talk to all of you on Friday, I suppose.
Goodbye, everyone.
No smart ass robot comments, Nick?
I'm I'm still too much in shock from. Yeah, no. I don't want to see the Hateful Eight anymore. Definitely not.
You're welcome. I'm glad I ruined it for you. Anyway, yeah, go watch it if you get a chance, and we'll talk to you Friday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.